Hey Internet, it's me. And him. So tonight we watched The Amusement Park, which is a weird case because the movie was made in 1973 and then it was released in 2019. So I don't know what happened for those 46 years in between, but that's the story of the movie. And it was made by George A. Romero, who made Dawn of the Dead, right? Yeah. And I don't know why it's listed as a horror movie.
Because him.
Like, I know time makes things different. Like, what would be a horror back in the 70s or whatever is not what you would consider horror today. Like, some of the earliest horror movies I watched were, like, The Dolls and The Birds and Beware the Blob. And, like, by today's standards, they're barely horror. But, like, this, I don't know.
It's not a horror movie. It's not scary.
Yeah.
But in real life, it's real and it's scary.
Yeah. I mean, we've both dealt with that in people we know, being old and senile and having to deal with those issues. And that sucks, but I don't know that I would call it horror. It's listed as horror/drama. The drama makes sense. The horror does not.
It's a very long PSA.
Pretty much. It's basically just saying, being old sucks and no one will help you and everything will be horrible and the world is awful. Which, agree with all those statements. But as far as horror goes, not the best. But ignore that it's horror for a second and just rate it just as a movie, just in general.
4, maybe 5?
4 was what I was thinking too, so that works. It's not terrible. Like, I was watching things happen. There was a story there. Like, I understood what was going on. I could see what their intent was. It just wasn't horribly entertaining.
It's not supposed to be.
I know, but like, I'm one of those nerds that I will watch documentaries and stuff like that. Like, I'm cool with that kind of thing. But this just, I don't know. I get the message they were trying to get across, and it is a good message, but it just didn't land for me. Like, you said 4, and that's really where I'm thinking too. Like, it was just below average. Like, it was something that I saw, but if I had known going in what it was going to be, I probably wouldn't have.
It's like they used to do back on like the TGIF shows, like after they did some poignant Laura Winslow in Family Matters wanted to do drugs to make herself look skinny, and then they did like a PSA afterwards. If you or someone you know does drugs, please tell an adult. Or they did a gunshot episode where if someone you know has a gun, make sure to tell this. It's that, but those always kind of just fall flat because they're just so heavy-handed.
Yeah.
It's not entertainment. I get what they're going for, but I want to be entertained.
Yeah.
Not deal with the problems of the world.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Entertainment it's a distraction from the problems, not a reminder or a bludgeoning over the head of them.
Right.
Like you said, I mean, it even had the PSA at both the beginning and the end, which, if the movie was more just like a standalone entertainment thing, and then the PSAs happened, that wouldn't be a big deal. I'd be like, okay, yeah, I watched an entertaining thing, and then they told me afterward, hey, by the way, the world is horrible for old people, then that would be fine. But this was, like, the whole thing felt like the PSA just stretched out.
That's what it was. That's why they made it. And it was, you said in the beginning, it's all no paid actors, it was all volunteers, we just want to get the message out. I get it.
Which, I understand that, but at the same time, those 48s I did were also unpaid, and I feel like those came up with more entertainment value. So, hell, Willowvale was unpaid. Granted, that's not entertaining either, but at least was more of a horror film.
That's why it took 40 some odd years for the movie to be released, because no one cared. Which is sad, because I get it.
Yeah.
I want old people, and I want veterans, and I want all the young people to be cared for.
Yeah.
But our government and our politics don't work like that.
Yeah, as far as the message, I 100% agree with all of it. Like, people are held down because of their age or their race or how much money they have or don't have. Like, totally on board with all of that. I've been on the wrong end of some of it. But it's not entertainment. It's a terrible reminder of what the world is like, and that's not what I want when I'm watching a movie. So, yeah, there's our odd and slightly depressing review. The world is awful. The movie's okay. And we'll see you tomorrow for something less bleak.